Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at these 7BLACKSMITH J-bar roof rack kayak carriers. So if you find this video helpful and you want to purchase some of these, I'll put a link to them in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So I have a number of different kayak racks. I have some cradles that are kind of like this. I've had a couple different stackers, but I don't have any J-bar cradles. So I went on Amazon and I looked for some of the cheapest ones I could find that looked to be decent quality, and I came across these. So I just wanted to check them out and share them. So this is a set of two. Typically when I'm carrying two kayaks, I'll use my stacker, which is essentially just a bar that sticks up in the middle. So instead of having a bar in the middle, I'll have these two J's on either side to lay the kayaks in. So I'm hoping this is a little easier. So let's take a look at the product itself first. Okay, so we have 4 metal plates here and 4 metal straps. So these would be for clamping to your bars. So one thing I'm noticing right here is there's no rubber on here to protect your bars, which may or may not be needed. It's a strap, another strap. Looks like there's 4 of these straps. So these would be for strapping your kayak to the cradle. A bunch of hardware. So here's rubber to go on top of these metal pieces. So there's 4 of those. Here is the manual, and this is a kayak or canoe rack. So it looks like we have some warnings here. You can read through those. Here's a couple of things here. It says maximum capacity is 150 pounds per pair of racks. So my kayaks are 40 pounds each. A lot of kayaks, recreational kayaks, are 50 to 60 pounds. So this would go up to 75 pounds for 2. So those are some pretty hefty kayaks. Accommodates kayaks up to 36 inches wide. It says will fit most factory or aftermarket round, square, oval, or flat crossbars. So I'm going to be trying this on my Subaru Outback, which actually has, I would call it like an aero bar. It's more of an airfoil shape. So these might sit at a bit of an angle. So I'm just going to try it out and we'll see what they look like. On the back it talks about how to assemble these, and it has a parts list. So it talks about the ratchet straps here. It says to trim the straps, wrap masking tape around the area you wish to cut, use a sharp knife or scissors, cut through the tape, remove the tape carefully, and singe the frayed ends with a lighter. Let's get the rest of these parts out here. So there's 4 of these cradles here. These have foam on them. Let's see how damaged the foam is on all these too. There's little indentations here, that's fine. Make sure none of it's torn or beat up too bad. Looks good. This one's pressed in quite a bit on the side, but that'll probably poof back out. So these things should be okay in the sun for the most part, but I don't know if I'd leave them on the car all the time. This foam will break down faster due to UV, I'm guessing. I could be wrong, but... And here's the other side, there. Okay, so those all look good. So that seems to be all the parts. See how big these tubes are. So edge to edge, they seem to be around 3/4 of an inch. So let me get these put together. Okay, so I want to take one of these short ends with the recessed ends, and I'm going to stick it in here, and I'll line up the holes here with here. Okay, I have these mostly lined up. This will need to get spread out just a little bit. And I'm going to take one of the long pieces and I need to put that over the end here, inside. Here we go. So I'll slide this together like so. Then I'm going to take the carriage bolt and I'll stick that in the 4 corners. And it needs to go through the rubber, and the square part needs to line up with the square part in the tubing. So I may need to wiggle this a little bit. Like right here, it's having trouble getting through that rubber, so I'll just kind of press down. Then I need to put a plate on here, and then a washer, and a lock nut. So I want to do that to each corner, and I want to do the repeat on all of these. So the socket size on this is 1/2 inch. But before I can tighten it completely, this will have to be pressed all the way in. So then you need to take the longer bolts, put those in the middle positions. If I can get that to stick through there. And then the small plate will fit on here, and you use these knobs to tighten that down. So it'll be about like that. So this is where your rack bar will go, in here, and then you'll tighten down with these knobs. So I'm going to tighten all of these down and set all these up, and then we'll take it out to the car and set it up on the car and see how it looks. Okay, hopefully I can get this video to come out okay because it's a little windy out. But I have these installed on my Subaru. Let's look at the other side. So here I have it installed without the kayak on it. And these are that oval shaped bar. You can see how it's kind of asymmetric here, but it turned out okay. Let's see if I can zoom in. You can see here what it looks like clamped down. Let me show from the front. Here it is from the front. So the kayak I have is an Eddy Line Skylark. When I put it on, I like to center in the cockpit between the cradles. So it can be a little tricky to put these straps on. This one wants to kind of slip back here, but I got it situated. So the strap's going to go around the loop here. The free end is going to go around this. And then we have the latch coming down from the top. We're going to feed it up through there and pull down on it. Then the slack I tied between the front and back in the middle. So I'm going to use ratchet straps to attach this point down to these little hooks on the back of my Subaru. A lot of cars will have hooks underneath, but I always like to secure the bow and stern of my kayak. I don't like to rely just on the rack. So to put this kayak up, I was able to put the straps through here by standing on the passenger side of the car, but I won't be able to do it once I put the second kayak up. So what I've done is I put the straps up and flipped them over the driver's side kayak. So I can put the kayak up here, then I can step up on the car and reach over and grab these and pull them over. So these are the 7BLACKSMITH J Cradle kayak holders. Thus far, these seem to be like they're going to work very well for me. When I'm done, I will take them off my car so they're not exposed to UV unnecessarily. But I think these are going to last me a little while if I take care of them. So another little quick tip, if you park in a garage, it's not a bad idea to put something like a sawhorse up when you're car top carrying something. That way, if you're back from, say, kayaking or bicycling and you're tired and you forget, you don't want to accidentally drive into the garage and smash your load. So I always put a sawhorse up. I also use these to unload my kayaks from my sidewalls. So I have these sawhorses sitting around, but I always put something here. You can also put a cardboard box or something. That way I don't pull into my garage and destroy all my stuff. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.